Hi guys, my name is Megan and today I've got my February wrap up for you. Alright, so February has been the most productive reading month I've had in a very long time. I think as of the filming of this video, I'm on book number 10 for the month, which is awesome. I haven't had a reading month that good in probably since 2017, which is pretty awesome. Anyway, let's get into what I read this month. So the first book that I read in February was Red, White, and Royal Blue. This book completely stole my heart. It was just so good, and I think by the time this video goes up, there will be a book review for this, so I will link that up in the corner. But this book completely stole my heart. It like melted it into like a little pile of goo. It was just so good, and I love Henry and Alex, and they are just like the cutest little couple ever. And like this is one of the best romances that I've read in a very long time. It's just so good. This one got a full 5 out of 5 stars from me. So the second book that I read in February was Ground. This is the first book in the Team Alpha series. This one was surprisingly good. I loved the premise. I loved the characters. I loved the whole world. The only thing I didn't really like about it was a little too short for my taste. Having read a few of these books now, they are like novella length and it doesn't go into like a whole lot of world building in depth, but I really liked what I read and it was just so good. And these books read like a really well written fan fiction. It's just so good. Like I read this book in 2 days, maybe not even 2 days. I think it was probably a total of 6 hours that I read the book in over 2 days. It's so good. It's short, it's quick, and it's just such a good book. This one got a 3.5 out of 5 stars. So the next book that I read was, or attempted to read, was Beautiful Bastard. So I got about 50 pages into this book and really did not like it. So this was this is the first DNF that I've had this year, which go me from lasting 2 months without DNFing a book. That's great. So I really didn't like how whiny the female main character in this kind of sounded. She kind of sounded, I don't know, she just was not a likable character for me. And I actually really like the male perspective on this because he had a little bit more depth, I think, than the female character did. I don't know. This book was just not for me. And yeah, this one was the first DNF for the year. So since I DNF'd that book so quickly, that was probably like halfway through my romance TBR stack. So I decided, to jump back into the Team Alpha books. So I read the second Team Alpha book next, which is Taken. And this one I really liked because this one kind of flip-flopped like the roles a little bit, which I really liked. And this one had a lot more like communication and it dealt with some heavier topics than the first book did. And I really liked how this one turned out. It was really good. This one got a 4 out of 5 stars. And really, this world is just awesome. And it's pretty much like crack. I want to finish all the books like right now. And then the next books that I read this month were the comic books that I had picked out. So I have the Steel Prince issue 1 and Steel Prince issue number 2. These are the first 2 comic books in the prequel series to the Shades of Magic series, and they follow Maxim Maresh, who is Kel's adoptive father and Rai's father, and I really like them. So in these books you can kind of see where Maxim gets all of like his personality traits, and you can kind of see the things that have shaped him into being the person that he is in the Shades of Magic series. But I also really like the art style for this. It's very like gritty and almost steampunky, but not quite. It's just a really interesting book series. So the first issue got 4 out of 5 stars, and the second issue also got 4 out of 5 stars. So the next book that I read this month was Fangirl. This book was kind of an impulse read because I had kind of finished all the books that I had in my romance TBR stack, so I just kind of went back through my TBR cart and just kind of was looking for another romance book, and this one happened to catch my eye, and I was like, okay, that one I do know is a romance, so I kind of dove in head first and I loved it. Like really loved this. I really like that Kath was just kind of, going into college and learning to be out on her own for the first time, away from her twin sister and their dad, and, learning to make friends with people that aren't her sister, and, learning how to take care of her dad being away from him, which is really interesting because their dad has a mental illness, and that was really interesting, especially in this context of like fan fiction and being away at college. And it's just a really interesting book. I really loved this, and I kind of wish that I had read this a lot sooner than I did. I wish that I had been open to contemporary books when this book came out, because this came out about the time I was going into college, and I was about the same age that Kath is in the book. This one was really good. I really loved the characters. I love Kath. I love Levi. I loved Reagan the roommate. She is just like, all of these characters are so good. This book got a 5 out of 5 stars for me. It was just really good, and I wish I had picked it up a lot sooner than I did. So the next book that I read this month was Moonstruck Volume 1. So I really loved the art style for this. It's gorgeous, it's like colorful and rounded, and it's just really pretty, and I just really like the art style. However, this book I felt was aimed at the wrong end of the YA spectrum. So this reads as very childish, and I feel like this is like aimed towards like the tweens kind of people, even though this is set at like a college, on a college campus with these kids working and living in apartments. I don't know, it felt like it was aimed at the wrong generation. I feel like the writing could have been aged up to actually match the storyline a little better, but I still really liked this. It was cute. This one got a 3.75 stars for me. So the next book that I read this month was Struck. This is book 3 in the Team Alpha series. So as you guys can see, I went through a lot of these books, and there's like, I think there's 7 a short story. So that's like 7.5 books in this series. So these are like cracks, so I keep reading them, and they're just all so good, and they're all so different from each other. But Struck I really liked. So this one I really liked because we get to follow Boomer, who is in charge of all of like the explosions and like munitions and kind of stuff within the Team Alpha. And we also get to follow David, who is the younger brother to the twins in this series, and you get to see the twins being overprotective of their baby brother and also being mean to their friend because, you know, the baby brother falls in love with him. I just love this whole trope. And I really like that David kind of forces like a communication issue in this whole thing, like learning to communicate better, and for his brothers to, you know, see that he is his own person and he can make his own decisions. And I really like the whole family situation. Boomer, who's this super serious, like no nonsense kind of guy, he has this super big, loud family, and he has all sisters. He's the only brother, and he's got all sisters, and they all talk over each other, and it's hilarious seeing him interact with them. It's just so funny. This one got a 3.75 out of 5 stars. So then the book that I'm currently reading is Hacked. This is book 4 in the Team Alpha series, and I really love this one so far. I'm only maybe about halfway. I just really like these books. They're so fun. Like, these are probably some of the books that I've had the most fun reading in a while. They're just really good, and like, seriously, they're like cracks, so I just keep reading them, and I may have bought the second box set. Hey guys, Future Megan here. Just popping in to say that I actually just finished a reread of The Outsiders. This is the last book that I read in February. This one got a full 5 out of 5 stars for me. Sorry for the glare. The reread for this was just amazing, and I've fallen even more in love with this book than I ever have before. It's just truly an amazing book. Anyway, here's the rest of the video. Anyway, that is what I read this month. What else did you guys read this month? Let me know down below. And did you have a favorite book that you read this month? I think my favorite book that I've read this month would have to be Red, White, and Royal Blue, just because it's so insanely good. If you guys like this video, don't forget to hit the like button. If you haven't already, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. You can also hit the notification button. And if you'd like to follow me on social media, check out the links down below. Alrighty, bye guys!